starshine lights my way to bed. Magic rainbows glisten in my head. Just like a child, I live in Wonderland. All my dreams are coming true. Heavy shackles used to hold me down.
Hi, and welcome to Handmade by Dixie Tulip. Today's video is a long-awaited video. I've had several people asking for this for quite some time, so sorry it's taken me so long to get around to it. This is my video about the My Body Model app. So I first heard about the My Body Model app, like so many others, via the Love to Sew podcast. And ultimately it's a fashion croquet that is made to your own specific body measurements. So it's an absolutely fantastic tool for sketching out what designs work well with your own body shape. Because I'm sure you will have seen a standard fashion sketch croquet has got really elongated legs, really skinny, really elongated arms, just not a realistic figure at all. So although I do totally understand why in the fashion industry they're used, because it makes things look really glamorous, in reality it's not what a real body looks like. So I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea to get the fashion croquet, which is made to your own body measurement. So then when you come to planning out your makes and what you're going to make with your different fabrics, it really helps you to make those final decisions. So I've used it for kind of deciding what necklines work on me, and for example, I've recently made several versions of the Helen's Closet York pinafore, and I love the deep neck version, but I never in a million years would have thought that would look good on me because I'm quite flat chested. But when I sketched it out on the My Body model, it looked absolutely brilliant, so I thought I'd go for it and absolutely loved how it turned out. So loads and loads of benefits to using this. Now, what I will say is you by no stretch of the imagination need to be an artist. I'm not an artist. I do a little bit of painting, but I'm by no stretch of the imagination at all an artist, and I'm hopeless at drawing. And you don't need to be good at drawing to be able to use this to do fashion sketches. And one thing to think about, this is the way I look at it, I'm not doing the sketches to create fantastic works of art. I'm doing it to help me to make decisions on my sewing. So if you're not a great drawer, please don't let that put you off giving it a go and giving it a try. It really does, for me anyway, it's given me a total different creative outlet that's linked in with my sewing, and it's made me really think carefully about the wardrobe that I'm building and what's going to work well together, and what the best garments are going to be that suit my body and work well with the fabrics that I've got. So in this video I'm going to tell you a little bit about the My Body Model app, and I'm going to show you my portfolio of the sketches that I've done so far. So I keep all my sketches in just a standard A4 lever arch folder. So you can see there's an example, and I've got a few building up in there now. What I'm going to do in a second is skip to a video which is filmed overhead so you can see the detail of these. So I'll walk you through that in a sec. Tools wise, you do get a paper, like a PDF that you print onto paper version of the body model, which is in your size, but you do also get a digital version as well, and I've done drawings with both. So I have used, my daughter is more of an artist than me, so we do have kind of paints and things in the house, so I have done some versions using kind of standard paints. It's good to have some fine liners pens to do the outlines and the details. And if you're using watercolour type paints, you'd need some watercolour type paper. So you can use the standard painted version. I've also done more than painted actually. I've used the digital version using Procreate on my iPad. along with the Apple Pencil or whatever other stylus works with it. I love both. So for me, I love the tactileness of a physical piece of paper with the drawing on there. Don't want to keep everything hidden away in a digital file. So that's why I love the painted versions, but also with the digital ones, what I've done is I've printed them off onto the watercolour paper, so they actually still look like paintings once they're printed off as well. The digital ones are great because you can do them on the go. So I take my iPad to work with me, I took it on holiday with me, so you know, when you can't traipse a sewing machine around with you, it still does mean that you can work on some of the planning, and all you need to do is keep your iPad in your bag. You don't need to walk around with a load of paints or anything else. So that's kind of what pips it for me on the digital side, is the flexibility, but then I do love how the painted versions have come out as well. So what else can I tell you about this? So yeah, you get the way that it works is, and you can have a play around on this for free as well. I'll put a link in to their website. There's several body measurements that you need to take, and you input them into the tool, and then what it does is it creates the body model in your body size. And it's a little bit weird when you first do it. It's a bit like you're looking at yourself naked, which isn't a very good image, and it's hard to know whether it is a real life of how your body shape looks. I had to ask the kids and ask the husband to look at it and see if it was a good match, but it turned out it was a really good match. The only thing I found is it made the thighs perhaps a little bit wider than what mine are in reality, but you can, once it kind of gives you your body model, you can play around with the measurements until you've got it just how you want it to be. So yeah, you can have a go at creating it, and you can see what it looks like, and then if you do decide that you want to go ahead and purchase it, you buy credits. So the more credits that you buy, the cheaper it works out each body model is. So for example, if you've got a body shape that quite regularly changes over time, then you might want to buy a few credits, so that if you find that you do have a change, either you go bigger or you go smaller, you can go in and just do another version. Or if you like to make clothes for other people, so for example, I like to make clothes for my mum, I like to make some clothes for my sister, for my friend. They're all different body shapes, so if you did want to do some design elements to their makes as well, then you could buy several credits. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to flick over to the overhead video so I can show you what you get and the sketches that I've done so far. I'm just going to show you inside my fashion sketching portfolio. So I just keep everything in a standard lever arch folder that I got from Wilko's for about £2 or something like that. So I'll just show you what you get when you get the My Body Model app, and then I'll show you some sketches that I've done already. So let me just start at the back so you can see what you get. Okay, so these are all the different measurements that you need to put in to get the body model to work to your own body measurements. But then what you get is a printout of what the measurements are that you've put in to the app. So if your body measurements do fluctuate from time to time, you know exactly what it's been set up as. So that's the first page. You then get, I'm not sure how much you can see because it's quite faint, you get a page where you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different models on one A4 piece of paper. So that's good for if you want to do different, like a one dress with different neck variations or something like that. You get a page where you've got a body model on this side of the page, then you've got some notes for adding some notes about your design. You've got a another one where you've got the My Body model there, and you've got a table, so you've got project, pattern, size, materials, alterations, modifications and notes, and then you've got a little gap for putting a swatch, and you've got a contents page. You do also get one that's got a full-size My Body model that must be out on my tracing table. I'll just go and grab it, I'll be back in a second. I'm back. So yeah, this is the other version that you get, is one where it's a full-size body model, but if you wanted to do a detailed sketch. This is the one that I mainly use, and you can see the lines on this are darker, and that's just where I've traced around the fainter lines. So then when I'm tracing that onto another piece of paper using either a tracing box or put it on a window or whatever, it's easier to see the lines through to trace. So that is what you get. You also get a PDF version of your body model, so when you're doing the digital drawings, you can kind of import that into whatever software you're using. So I'm just going to show you now some of the sketches that I've done. Okay, so I've done a variety of sketches, some using standard kind of paints and some with digital. So this is the first one that I did. So I traced 2 body models onto a sheet of A4 paper, and this was the fabric that I'd got, and I wanted to decide whether to make a dress or whether to make some trousers. So what I did is sketch them and painted them onto the My Body models, and I could see instantly that I much preferred the trousers, and that's what I went ahead and made. I'll insert a little picture to show you. So yeah, I just used kind of standard watercolour type paints, and then I went round the edges with an outliner pen. This is another one that I did using standard paints, and this was a cocoa top that I was planning. So I knew I was making the cocoa top, I just wanted to plan out how it looked with a couple of different outfits. So I've got the dungarees and I've got the jeans, and I did have a bit of fabric left over, so I've stuck a little scrap onto the page as well. This is one of the digital sketches that I've done, but what I like to do is I'll do it digitally, and as I said in the introduction, there's pros and cons to doing it in different ways, but I still like to print it onto watercolour paper so it does look like it's been hand painted rather than it's been drawn digitally. So this was kind of playing about with different colours on the York pinafore. This was my June crafting box. If you've seen that video, you will have seen this picture before. This is another one that I did digitally but then printed onto watercolour paper. So I'd got the beige coloured Helen Closet York and a patterned t-shirt underneath. Again, I'll insert a picture to show you. This is another digital one, so this is the gable dress that I made from lovely striped French terry fabric, and I did this one digitally, which was really good because you could play around with putting the stripes in different directions, so I did play around with different designs before I cut it out. And this is my most recent digital one. I did this whilst I was on holiday in Greece. I was sitting there in 35 degrees, absolutely roasting, planning out my autumn wardrobe. So this is the gypsum skirt that I'm planning to make out of some lovely rayon fabric that I've got, and I've planned out what would team up well with that skirt, and I'm looking at a Tessuti Monroe turtleneck sweater. So that's it, that's the sketches that I have done so far. so that's it. That's my drawings that I've done so far, and I really have enjoyed it. It's made me really slow down with my sewing projects because it's making me think as a designer rather than just a sewer, and you know, it's ignited all sorts of wanting to learn how to pattern draft and design my own designs rather than just working with standard patterns. So it's definitely ignited something for me, which I'm really pleased about. What I have also done, which I'll share here, quite a few people did message me to ask for a tutorial on how to use Procreate to do the digital drawings, and I've done that. It's not a video that I can really share on YouTube because it's too long. It's about an hour, and it's more of it's a learning thing rather than just sharing. So what I've done is I've used the Skillshare learning platform to share my tutorial on how to do that. If you're not familiar with Skillshare, I've been a member for a couple of years now, more so from a learner side of things, but then about a year ago I did set up a channel, and I've got a few classes in there, but it isn't something that I really promote or share that much. I'm not quite sure why, but I haven't done so far. So yeah, I've got a few lessons on my Skillshare channel. One of them is how to sew a blouse. I think I've got how to sew bunting, how to sew tilde fairies, but then my most popular video so far is how to edit, in very simple terms, how to edit a video on Imovie. So for anybody out there who hasn't got a YouTube channel and would like to set up one but doesn't know where to start with video editing, and then you could check that out because I'd love to see more YouTube channels popping up. But the class that I have done for Procreate it's in simple terms because I'm not a techie person, but I kind of walk you through step by step how I use Procreate to create the drawings that I've got in the folder there. So it's the gable dress one that I walk you through, so kind of how to use the digital software, but some of the painting techniques as well, so kind of where to put the shadow and how to use layering and stuff like that. So I'll put a link to the Skillshare class in the video notes. The way that it works, it's a membership type thing, so you pay a monthly membership fee, which is currently £10 I think, but then you've got access to the whole suite of videos that everybody shares. So it's a huge learning platform. You've got everything on there from how to use a camera, how to take photos, how to do painting, all sorts of technical things, how to use Photoshop and stuff like that. So there's a real wide array of lessons that are open to you, and it's a great learning platform as well because you can download, if you get the app, you can download the classes. So if you wanted to watch them whilst you're at work or on holiday or whatever, and you don't have access to Wi-Fi, you can download them onto the app and then you can watch them offline, and then you can share your projects, you can ask the teacher questions and stuff like that. So it's definitely worth checking out. If you use the link that is in my show notes, you do get a free trial for 2 months. So you would need to put card details in, but you would make no payment, and then if you cancelled within the 2-month period, then no payment would ever be taken. If you decide that you want to carry on using Skillshare, then you would be billed after 2 months for the £10 a month. Also, what I would say is, if you're watching this video, chances are you're a sewer and you've got loads of skills that you can share. So why not have a look at becoming a teacher yourself, because it is a way of generating a little bit of income. You don't get a great deal. Well, I certainly did. Following is really small on there, but it does generate for me at least £50 a month, I would say, in royalties, which helps for me to go back in my pot, buying fabrics, buying equipment to record videos, etc, etc. So do check it out from a teacher point of view as well, because we've all got wonderful skills that we can share. So that is it. That is my overview of the My Body Model app. It really has been a game changer for me, so I would definitely recommend checking it out. Any questions at all about anything I've gone through today, just leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, as usual, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you don't already, and have a wonderful week. I will see you very soon. Bye!
Just like a child, I live in Wonderland. All my dreams are coming true. Heavy shackles used to hold me down. Now my feet don't even reach the ground. Just like a